The Edge at 11 starts now.
Tonight on The Edge, the Lodge Freeway back open after being shut down for a police investigation. Michigan State Police seen searching the southbound lanes of the freeway at Linwood. M10 was shut down around 9 this morning. Police so far not sharing why they closed the southbound lanes.
Also tonight, a child is in the hospital after police say they fell out of a window in Detroit. It happened around 4:30 this afternoon at an apartment on the corner of Kendall and Wildmere. We're told the child is currently in the hospital in stable condition. Detroit Police says child abuse unit is investigating. Life is forever changed after a house explosion rocks a Southgate neighborhood. One woman was killed by that explosion 2 weeks ago. Her husband was hurt.
Also impacted, the next door neighbors. Tonight, a family friend is starting a campaign to help them through this ordeal. Fox News' Lauren Edwards with the story.
When I first heard about the explosion, I wasn't positive the addresses, and I've been to Bob's house before. I knew it was close, but I didn't realize that it was like that close.
Glenn Higgins grateful his friends Bob and Kathy Wood survived their neighbor's home explosion 2 weeks ago. He was worried though when he didn't hear from them.
Just not knowing, not hearing from him at all. You know, Bob's an old Marine, and he's not the kind of guy that's going to just not be at work. So he hadn't reached out to me because his phone had melted.
Higgins says when he got a hold of Wood, he was relieved. And he quickly learned that the explosion on Edison and Burns was so powerful that it took out the Woods home too. Higgins was heartbroken.
Just good people. You know, in fact, when I first asked them about taking interviews on their behalf, they first told me no. They actually feel guilty that anyone's given them any attention. They feel terrible knowing that Amber passed.
37-year-old Amber Benedict died in the explosion. Her husband Paul was severely injured. A GoFundMe was set up for the Benedicts. Higgins got to work creating one for the Woods.
I've had a little bit of experience with a catastrophic fire, and there tend to be gaps in your coverage whether you realize it or not. And so just one less thing for them to hopefully have to worry about.
He's spoken to the Woods a few times since the explosion. He says they're doing okay, but it'll be a while before they get back on their feet.
It's been really good to see so many people, you know, through work and just people that we know stepping up and trying to chip in, and definitely some strangers too. You know, it's out of a catastrophe, it is kind of heartwarming just to know that people do care and people are there to try to help out.
Now the investigation is ongoing, and if you want to help the victims at this time, you could head to fox2detroit.com. A link to both GoFundMes is posted. Reporting here in Southgate, Lauren Edwards on The Edge.
A troubling rise recently in deadly cases of domestic violence here in Metro Detroit.
And several communities have been impacted in the last few days. As Fox News' Dave Kinchin tells us, there are resources out there for anybody who needs them.
Westland.
I feel like it's so eerie.
A whole new meaning to the silence and peace neighbors say they typically notice on Surrey Heights near Cambridge Street after a couple dies in what police are calling a murder-suicide.
It's just not something you would ever expect over here.
Police say on Tuesday night, 52-year-old Joseph King called 911 saying he had just shot his live-in girlfriend, 46-year-old Melissa Hatter, and was going to shoot himself. The dispatcher heard a shot, then silence in the open line afterwards.
There had to be like 10 police officer cars, and they were all out. They had guns drawn.
A similar incident happening in Dearborn Heights days ago when a wellness check led to the discovery of 2 bodies and what police are also calling a murder-suicide. Cops say the dead were a man and woman who had been dating. And in Highland Township, a man arrested for allegedly shooting and killing his girlfriend.
As a domestic violence survivor myself, I'm always out here talking about what that looked like for me. You know, we lived in a very wonderful situation to the outside world.
JoJo Dries founded On the Wings of Angels, a nonprofit helping domestic violence survivors break the silence, recognize the signs of abuse, and get help.
People always come out of the woodwork and say, well, we thought they were a great family. We thought this was a great couple. It's because the victim, the survivor, has been told, if you go tell anyone outside the family what's happening here, we will hurt you even more.
She says there's many helpful resources right here in Metro Detroit.
At On the Wings of Angels, we have personal personally worked with Haven out in Pontiac, and we work with Avalon Healing Center. Both of those resources are on the ground. They're working daily with domestic violence survivors, sexual abuse survivors.
And Westland Police is among one of many police departments and general law enforcement agencies with domestic violence advocates on staff to get those critical resources to people who need it most. In Rochester, Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
A Washington County family will never be the same as a man recovers from a traumatic, life-changing injury and is grieving the loss of his wife and father-in-law.
His foster daughter's biological mother was accused of plotting to take her child back and killing those who got in the way. Jeffrey Bernhard sharing his emotional story in court today. It was during a preliminary hearing for two suspects accused of helping the biological mother break into the victim's Northfield Township home and then carry out the deadly attack.
It was a scream that I will never forget. It was a scream of terror. And I immediately walked around the corner and saw three individuals in my home. And one of them quickly saw me and came to me, pointed the gun, and told me to sit down.
Bernhard still has bullet fragments lodged in his body after he was shot in the head and the chest. The judge decided there is enough evidence for both suspects to stand trial.
Disturbing allegations against an elderly Clarkston man accused of making child pornography. 81-year-old James Malash is accused of altering photos of kids by placing images of children onto pornographic photos of adults. Investigators say they were tipped off in 2023 when Malash was a chair of Clarkston's Historic District Commission. A stack of papers allegedly belonging to Malash were discovered, including sexual images of kids. Prosecutors say many of the alleged photos were children that he knew.
Review police report indicated that the alleged victims depicted in the images are his former neighbor's children. Pretrial services spoke with the alleged victim's father. He stated they currently live about 2 blocks from the defendant currently.
Malash's bond is set at $100,000 cash. If he posts it, he can't have contact with the victims or anyone under 18 and can't have access to the internet.
New developments for the woman convicted in a deadly crash at a Monroe County boat club. Marcella Chidester has fired her attorney, deciding to retain a new lawyer before she's sentenced next month. According to court records, Amberg and Amberg will now represent her. Her former attorney, Bill Kolovos, says he's learned about this when he was being replaced during a recent visit to the Monroe County Jail for a pre-sentencing hearing. Kolovos says the lawyer who tries the case usually represents their client through the sentencing.
Very racist here. And I feel bad because we still have to experience that, and it's not fair.
Parents and students outraged after someone painted the N-word on the side of Lakeview High School in St. Clair Shores. The racist graffiti was found on Monday morning. The district worked quickly to have the graffiti removed from the building. St. Clair Shores police are working to find who did this.
I'm not sure why I didn't swerve, but I kept driving, and then I realized glass was flying on me.
A terrifying experience for a woman driving in Sterling Heights as a massive tree branch crashes through her windshield. We're told this happened last month near Ryan and 15 Mile as Susan Lessner headed to work. She says the branch came from a tree on city property.
Just really confused and shaken up. And all I could think about was my 3 kids, like if one of them were sitting there. And it was upsetting.
Lessner says her truck has been in a repair shop for weeks and thinks the city should pay for the damages and her rental car. But the city claims they aren't responsible, citing governmental immunity.
All right, let's talk about the weather. Some rain chances ahead for your Easter weekend, but temperatures are on the rise.
That's a good thing. Weather Authority Rich Lieberman standing by with the forecast.
Tara and Root, before we get to Easter, we are going to have a warm day Friday, but there are some chances for some storms Friday evening and Friday night. Right now, it's high pressure in charge of our weather. We did have clouds this morning. We saw sunshine this afternoon. It felt a lot nicer out there, especially after the lunch hour. Right now, it's all quiet across southern Michigan from Saginaw working out of Detroit to Lansing, Grand Rapids, down to Battle Creek and Fort Wayne. No problems. Here are some live pictures right here in Southfield at 47 degrees. Lots of stars out there tonight. How about the daytime highs? In the middle 50s for a lot of us. It was chilly this morning at 36. Here are those averages, 59 and 39. Records 86 and 17. Right now, a lot of us are near 40 degrees, give or take a few. 34 Ann Arbor, that's a cool spot. 30 in Port Huron. 40 for Howell, 37 Windsor. Down there in Adrian, 42 degrees. Thankfully, the breeze was less today than what we had yesterday when it was quite blustery. Right now, really not much wind left out there. The coldest of the air is off to our east. There's Buffalo at 37, North Bay, Ontario, 28. And this cold air is starting to release back into eastern Canada. So off to our west, 53 in Minneapolis, 60 degrees right now in Springfield, Illinois. High pressure parked over the region. That means more sunshine tomorrow. Fading sun with more clouds late in the day on Thursday. Here's our next weather maker. It's this low pressure that'll bring chances for some storms Friday evening and Friday night. It will be warm on Friday with daytime highs in the middle 70s. And there is a chance some of the storms Friday in the evening could be quite strong. We'll be watching that for you. But tonight, it's all quiet, cool and dry, down to 33. Tomorrow, how about 60 degrees for your Thursday, 76 on Friday. The weekend features shower chances Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It will be a bit cooler for Easter Sunday. Taryn, another check at 4 a.m.
Very good. Thanks, Rich. An important panel discussion tonight at Children's Hospital of Michigan as African-American fathers come together to share their experiences about family life. They're raising awareness about the challenges Black parents face during Black Maternal Health Week. The founder of the nonprofit Redeem Detroit says fathers deserve to have their voices heard instead of suppressed.
Get to hear each other's stories and support each other and let the world know that we're here and we are involved and we want to be involved and we love our children and we love our wives.
As a system in the city of Detroit that predominantly serves a lot of Black women, we want to make sure that we wrap around that community as well to make sure that they know that we as a system value them, we as a system see them, and we as a system hear them.
Bell says there's a stereotype about Black fathers not being involved, which he says couldn't be further from the truth.